third and the final day of our session on the mechanics of writing. Today is the day 3, and we are learning about the technicalities that we need to adopt in our academic writing and writing the research paper. So, some of this I have already discussed yesterday, like the comma and this exercise. Now I'm coming to sentence problem. So many a times we write and we think that we have written correct, because naturally, if I know that I'm making an error, why would I write? So whatever, I mean, I really feel that whatever has written it to the best of one's capacity. क्योंकि अगर मुझे पता है कि मुझे ये रास्ता लेने से आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू रीच बर्डी, व्हाई वुड आई गो ऑन दैट रूट? I would ask somebody and go on the route which takes me to birding, not venture here and there. So automatically in writing also, when we are expressing ourselves, we have to ensure that we are putting in our best efforts, and that is what we do. But sometimes, in spite of putting our best efforts, because we are not aware, we may end up making errors. And that then becomes a challenge. So I'm just going to share with you what kind of errors may come up in sentence construction, so that you can just check them out right at the beginning and your construction goes smoothly. So we will start with that. And so can you see my screen? Although the font is a little small, but I'm sure if you look closely, you will be able to read what is there. So these are the different kinds of problems in sentence construction. Sometimes the first problem is that the sentence is incomplete. When the sentence is incomplete, it is called a phrase. And a sentence can be incomplete when there is no subject, no verb, or there may be a subject and no verb. So these kinds of sentences become incomplete. So let's see. A single sentence without a verb or a subject, or sometimes it may be a complete sentence, but it may be a dependent clause. So it may be without an independent clause, so it's a dependent clause. So dependent clause can never be complete on its own. So what should we do? Because the college opened today, suppose if I just write this much, or because the researchers proved something, if I just write this much, then the corresponding thought is missing. What happened before and after is missing. So even though I've completed a thought process, I have expressed a thought process, it is incomplete. So check that. Your sentences should not be dangling, they should not be left in the middle. So what should you do? What is the remedy? So examples are the cost of renting an apartment. Suppose I'm really worried. Really worried. What are you worried about? The cost of renting an apartment. I'm worried about the cost of renting an apartment. That is the complete sentence. So, in such cases, you have to add a subject, the and the verb. So, the cost of renting an apartment is very high in Mumbai. That is the complete sentence. Suppose now, second example is because some students have part-time jobs. Now, because some students have part-time jobs, so what? They are not able to attend classes regularly. So there is no independent clause. Just the dependent clause, it will have the subject and the verb, but still it's incomplete because it is dependent. It needs an independent clause to complete the thought process. So the two situations where the verb or subject may be missing, The second situation where the dependent clause may be just mentioned. So what is the remedy for that? You will add a verb or subject, and the second is you will add an independent clause. So these are the two situations and the two remedies for such problematic situations. The second example can be a word, or like we have already done this, misplaced modifiers. A word or phrase. Now, all these things your autocorrect may not check. Your misplaced modifiers, autocorrect cannot check because it can check the grammar. It cannot check the logic. So, you have written the word and phrase and you have expanded it also, but the placement of the modifier has gone wrong. So having finished the assignment, the TV was turned on. Having finished the assignment, the TV was turned on. Now it's a complete misplaced modifier. Who finished the assignment? Who switched on the TV? There is no connection. So what's missing here? Who is the doer of the action? Who is doing this? So maybe Rashmi turned on the TV after having finished the assignment. Without the subject, the sentence cannot be complete. So name the doer of the action. Who is carrying out that action? So Rashmi, she, he, they, whatever. Then you have to combine the phrase and main clause. And both when they are combined and when they are combined, they are naturally integrated and then it becomes easier. So Rashmi turned on the television after having finished the assignment. So turned on the television after having finished the assignment, two thoughts have become one. And Rashmi we have added. The third example of a sentence problem is like run-on sentence I was talking about. Two independent clauses are there, but there is no punctuation. Or two independent clauses are there, but you have joined them with a comma and there is no coordinator, no coordinating conjunction. So your sentence is going to be grammatically wrong. It's going to be a run-on sentence. So I get to go through many articles, so that is why I'm just sharing this. So how do you change this? Now the first example is two independent clauses, no punctuation. So getting married is easy. Staying married is a different matter. Now, getting married is easy, staying married is a different matter. These are two different thoughts completely. So, getting married is easy, full stop. Staying married is a different matter, full stop. But you have removed the full stop and you are continuing making it one single sentence. There is no comma, there is no coordinating conjunction, there is no semicolon. The sentence is going to be difficult to understand. So getting married is easy, just the comma, again, not correct because subject, verb is there. It's an independent clause. The second part is also an independent clause. So there should be a semicolon. So you can add a full stop and separate them into two sentences. You can add a semicolon and show that these are two different ideas. You can show a coordinator, that is the coordinating conjunction, and a comma before that, or you can use a subordinate. So subordinate conjunction would be it because getting married is easy, although staying married is a different matter. That's a subordinate conjunction. Although getting married is easy, comma, staying married is a different matter. So that's again a subordinate conjunction. So, see, these are the kind of sentence problems. I'm sure you all must be seeing this around you. Sometimes there are too many simple short sentences. So, if there are too many sentences, then it is again and it'll again cause mental friction. So small sentences are boring to read. They appear simple. Your thoughts look simple too. You can only think in trivial, simplistic ways. Small thoughts seem to come from small minds. I mean, I wouldn't agree with that. But then it is you have to join the sentences because you're writing about complex ideas, the research being carried out, the latest advancements in the certain fields that you are covering. So, educators have to resort to writing such sentences which bring out their intellectual capacity to the fullest. So, beginners, it's okay. They can write small sentences, but not educators, not professors, not researchers. So, how do we do that? We have to combine them into complex sentences, or we can combine them into compound sentences. So, our dear friends, conjunctions will happily come marching in and they are going to help us here. Then the other is also possible. If you are writing two small sentences, that is not accepted. But if you are writing too lengthy a sentence that I shared in the sample, that was too lengthy. So again, the thought process is lost. And we cannot go with very lengthy sentences. So very lengthy sentence means there are too many clauses, and there are too many clauses means there are too many conjunctions, and when there are too many conjunctions means there are too many ideas being portrayed in a single thought, in a single sentence, and that becomes a challenge. So always remember, do not have very long sentences, do not have very short sentences. Your sentences should be very apt. So many students, example of a very long sentence, many students attend classes all morning, they work all afternoon, they have to study at night, so they are usually exhausted by the weekend. Now, this can easily be broken into two sentences. So, that is why our sentence construction. So, these we have to just keep in mind, dividing into shorter sentences. Now, another thing is very important. So, these 5 key points. Sentence should not be incomplete. There shouldn't be phrases, just dependent clauses. That is one error. The second error is of misplaced modifiers. The third error is of independent clauses not being joined correctly. The fourth error is the sentences being too short. And the fifth error is sentences of being too lengthy. Now, there is another kind of error which I'm going to be talking about. It is parallelism, parallel structure. Has anybody heard of parallel structure in sentence construction? I'm sure English teachers or those who are interested in learning the language must have heard of what is parallel structure in writing or speaking. Anybody would like to share parallelism? Like we have heard this parallel structure. So, anybody? So whatever we shared till now in sentence construction, I hope it's clear. First was phrases or dependent clauses. We should always check whether the verb is there, the subject is there. Then the second was two independent clauses. When we are joining, there should be a comma, comma coordinator, or this semicolon, or there should be a full stop. Then misplaced modifiers, always check for that. The fourth one was sentences should not be too short. And the fifth one was sentences should not be too lengthy. Now, the sixth one I'm talking about is the parallel structure. Now, what is parallel structure? Can anybody tell me? What could be parallel structure in writing in English or in any language?
Madam,
Parallel
it could
structure.
be
Huh?
writing two sentences with similar meaning.
Writing two sentences with similar meaning. Okay, that is a great insight, but thoda sa different hai. Yes,
Okay.
but thank you so much for giving your insight is very valuable, really cherished and treasured that you are speaking. So wonderful. Yes, but thoda sa isse hamara deviation hai thoda sa. So anybody else would like to share what could be parallel structure in writing?
Repetition of words
Okay, okay. And repetition of words. Okay.
in a
So
grammatical sense of
changing of only words. Okay. So we should always, now why am I sharing this? क्योंकि ये हमारे errors होते हैं. Repetition of a chosen grammatical, just a minute, let me read. Repetition of a chosen grammatical form within a sentence. Repetition of a chosen grammatical form within a sentence. Maintaining the chosen grammatical form, I would say that whatever maintaining. So, suppose if you have chosen infinitive, so you have to maintain that. If you are choosing adjectives, then maintain that. If you are choosing nouns, then maintain that. So whatever is your description, your structure should remain parallel. Like if one line is 5 centimeters, the other line should also be 5 centimeters, both horizontal or both vertical, only then they will be called parallel structures. So similarly, in writing also, if one is in a certain manner, the other also has to follow. There has to be a certain norm which has to be adopted. Otherwise, if this restriction is not there, then it will be very difficult to comprehend what is being written. So that is why we have to maintain the parallel structure. So I'm going to give you an example of what is meant by this. So here is a famous saying of Benjamin Franklin's apostrophe is here written. Something he has written. This is the famous saying, and there is no parallel structure. Why? Because going to bed early, that is a gerund being used here. Going is verb में ing लग गया तो it becomes a gerund. And to rise early, that is an infinitive because to rise is infinitive. Makes a man healthy. Healthy is adjective. Have wealth. अब ये have wealth कहाँ से आ गया? Because if I'm writing about one adjective, I have to write the second adjective also. And again, it has become a noun phrase, in possession of wisdom. So again, this also has to change to adjective. So there are 5 errors here. Going to bed early, if it is, and rising early, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So, healthy, have wealth, I cannot do this. So, or otherwise, if I may want to change it to infinitives, I will say early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. So, see so many errors in the first quotation which has no parallel structure. So we cannot. So what happens is in the spoken English, we may speak like that. Going to bed early and to rise early can definitely make a man healthy. The person can have wealth and the person can be in possession of wisdom. Definitely, you can say that. But when it comes to written words, you're putting it in black and white, then the error just glares. And that is something which we cannot afford to do. So, following this parallel structure is very important. So, this parallel structure means not ma'am had written that repeating the original chosen grammatical form. I would just say maintaining whatever you have chosen for your structure for your sentence. Suppose if it is infinitive, then maintain that. If it's an adjective, then maintain that. So that is why it is important. So whatever you are choosing to begin with or in the middle of the sentences, maintain the same structure. Otherwise, your structure may not stay parallel, and it is a very glaring error in writing. And it often occurs, we not even realizing it. So that is why I'm just bringing it to everyone's notice, because once we become aware, we are more conscious. And something about awareness, I just want to say that there are so many things around us taking place. We may not be even knowing about those things, but the moment your attention is drawn to a particular event or a particular quote or a particular situation, suddenly we start paying more attention to it. So like, because we talk, there's so much of environment awareness, there is, people are more aware about so many things, so there are so many NGOs taking concrete action to handle the problem in a positive manner, because the awareness was built, attention was drawn, action could be taken. So similarly, here, whenever, whatever we are discussing, we are making ourselves aware that such conditions exist. When such conditions exist, you're going to be more conscious. When you are reading also, is the sentence maintaining parallel structure? When you become more conscious, you will gain more expertise in it, and that will automatically get translated into whatever you are reading and writing and explaining and everywhere. So the important thing is to know first, and knowing is awareness. So when we say that awareness, self awareness, or any kind of awareness, it is to know that such a thing exists, and then we can take action. So I'm just discussing the errors sometimes that may crop up in writing and without we even being aware. So the awareness is brought in, measures can just be taken, or there are so many ways. We keep noticing, we keep learning, we keep becoming better and better. So that was what I wanted to share in this. Now we come to capitalization. So we are coming back to our topics on mechanics
Can
of
I ask
writing.
one question?
Yes, please.
Uh, uh, should we maintain structure for all paragraph, or can we change from sentence to sentence?
Absolutely change from sentence to sentence. We are talking about only one sentence. In one
Okay.
sentence, parallel structure should be maintained. You go to the second sentence, you adopt another structure. So that, but that maintain that in the second sentence. So it is only limited to one sentence construction. So
Okay.
when we,
Thank you.
yes, very good. Yes. Okay, so now we come to our important topic of capitalization. So, capitalization in research writing, because you are doing the index, you are doing the title, you are doing the topics and then subtopics and headings and subheadings, and I mean there is a lot of confusion because things sometimes are very ambiguous. So could anybody share what could be the rules for title, what could be the rules for title capitalization? Because if you are following your computer, writing on the computer, it only shows two cases. One is the sentence case or one is the title case. Either your all words are going to be in uppercase, or one is in the uppercase, less all in lowercase. So, and because of this, I mean, I really feel that, more people are accepting errors easily, because again, it is not clear as to what is there, what is right and what is not right. So because I write books, and I mean sometimes many books come to me for editing also, and then I see the title and the index written all incorrect, and I feel the educators are doing this. What will happen then? I mean, what can we say if, I mean, school teachers or anywhere, it may go just across. So we have to be very, very careful about title capitalization rules, because it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So anybody, would you like to share from your side what rules do we follow, or what rules are we capitalize important words in the title? Very correct. Very correct. The ma'am is Manoj sir. Okay, so my question is, what are the important words? Absolutely correct. Capitalize the important words in a title. Now, my question is, how do you define the important words? Proper nouns, okay. And what else? Names of places, yes. So, what is the difference between the common noun and the proper noun? Common noun are things common, jo sab jagah hai, general. And the moment you give that common element a particular name, it becomes a proper noun. So, proper nouns will always be capitalized. Absolutely sure. Absolutely correct. Ekdam. My question is to Manoj sir. What are the important words? Could you please specify? It may be adjective, verb, okay, yes, and adjective, verbs, things, okay, yes, yes. Okay, so we are just going to be learning about what to capitalize and what not to capitalize. So, like sir very rightly pointed out, capitalize the important words. Now, what are these important words? So, we'll learn about that, and we are going to do a small exercise also. So, this parallel structure, yes, to begin a sentence. So, whenever we are using capital letters, always we use a capital letter to begin a sentence for proper nouns and for abbreviations. Information technology becomes IT, CEO becomes Chief Executive Officer becomes CEO, then name of a day, month, or a festival. So all these are very, very particular names, name of a day. So week will be in small letters, but name of a day in that week will be capital. Title, if we are writing a title before someone's name, then of course it will be a capital. Mr., Sir, Doctor, so capital letter. When you are using the pronoun I, always the capital I will be used. And if you are writing, quoting something, so first letter in quotation. We are going to be doing quotation marks in detail after this, but the general rule is always the first letter in quotation will be capital. The first letter in quotation. Now, if you're going to break the quotation and divide it into two halves, then suppose you say they are and quotation closed. He said, going to the museum. Still, they remains the first word of the quotation, so they will be in capital. T will be in capital. We are going to be doing it. We are going to be doing an exercise on this. So, next is when we are dealing with the title. So, these rules are the general rules which we must have learnt, and which we must be using all the time. But when it comes to title capitalization, then certain formalities again have to be followed. So always you will capitalize the first word in the title and the last word in the title and the important words. So these are the three things, very important things. And all the important words, like if you're talking about, so they are the adjective, they are the adverbs, they are the nouns, pronouns, subordinating conjunctions, and verbs. Anybody wants to ask anything with reference to important words कि important words क्या होते हैं? तो adjectives होते हैं जो कि संज्ञा को और डिस्क्राइब करते हैं, विशेषता बताते हैं. एडवर्ब्स वो होंगे जो कि क्रिया की विशेषता बताएंगे. नाउन्स वो होंगे जो कि कुछ पर्टिकुलर नाम होते हैं जो कॉमन प्रॉपर फीलिंग्स इमोशंस एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, दीज आर द डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ नाउन्स. प्रोनाउंस आते हैं जो कि प्रोनाउन. तो मैं इसको ऐसे करती हूँ कि प्रो मान लीजिए फॉर, तो दे टेक द प्लेस ऑफ नाउन्स. एंड सबऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस वी हैव ऑलरेडी डन. अगर ये 3 लेटर्स से ज्यादा के हैं और वर्ब्स हमारी राइट टाइप क्रिएट, इज एम आर ऑल्सो इन कैपिटल लेटर्स, आई मीन द फर्स्ट लेटर इज कैपिटलाइज्ड. जो नहीं कैपिटलाइज होते हैं हमारे कोऑर्डिनेटिंग कंजंक्शंस, बिकॉज वो इतने छोटे छोटे लेटर्स, 3 लेटर्स 2 लेटर्स वाले ज्यादातर कैपिटलाइज नहीं होते. हमारे आर्टिकल्स नहीं होते हैं ए एंड द, और हमारे प्रपोजिशंस भी जो एट, बाय, इन, ऑन, एट, अप, ऑफ, बिकॉज ये देखिए 2 लेटर जो वर्ड्स हैं, 3 लेटर हैं, वो कैपिटलाइज नहीं हो रहे हैं. पर अगर आपका फर्स्ट लेटर ऑफ द टाइटल बिगिंस विथ अ स्टडी और एन इन्वेस्टिगेशन और समथिंग, सो आप उसको कैपिटल करेंगे. फर्स्ट वर्ड हमेशा कैपिटल होगा. इन दैट केस अ एंड द will be capitalized only when they are in the beginning of the title. If they are in the middle of the title, you need not capitalize them. That is the rule. Okay, so ये sentence case है, a portrait of the artist as a young man. तो a portrait capital और बाकी सब आपके लोअर केस में आ गए. ये सेंटेंस केस है. पर अगर टाइटल केस है, मे बी आफ्टर सम टाइम वी विल हैव दिस फीचर वेयर इट ऑटोमेटिकली शोज द टाइटल केस ऑल्सो. बट टाइटल केस ऑल्सो, बिकॉज डिफरेंट, I mean American APA follows something, there may be, I don't know if there may be clashes, but there should be a title case also. So a portrait of the artist as a young man. So of is small, the small, as small, a small, because it is in the beginning, it's capital. Portrait is a noun, capital. Artist is a noun, capital. Young is an adjective. Man is a noun. So ये एक और एग्जाम्पल देखते हैं. Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance and inquiry into values. So, Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance, सब capital हो गया title case में, and inquiry into values, ये भी सब capital हो गया. So, this is the difference between the sentence case and the title case. So now, are you ready to do an exercise? It's very interesting, very simple, very easy. But sometimes, just because we are not aware, that is the only possible explanation, that we are not aware. And then, in that case, confusion dominates. And then we, whatever we think is right, we follow that, but we are not confident because we did whatever we felt. Nobody told us, nobody taught us. So my way of doing things may be right or wrong. I'm not sure. And if I'm not sure, I'm not confident. And if I'm not confident, I will not share with others. And then the other person comes to his or her own interpretation. And then the other person also follows the whatever he or she felt was right. Now a chain is, being formed where each one is doing what one thinks is right or wrong. Nobody is sure, so nobody is confident, but the work is going on. So that is why this awareness to know what is right, because when we know that this is how it is done, we can always stand up confidently and say that this is the way it has to be, because this is what the research says. This is what the logic says. This is what has been proved. So that when we are, that gives us a whole lot of confidence. And then we can stick to what we stand by. Otherwise, we will keep shifting from one stand to another, only for the reason because I'm not confident. So this could be right, this could be right too. I don't know. So it happens in so many situations. So that is why we should be very firm and very sure of what we are doing. Very, very confident. That gives us, when it gives us confidence, it gives us power. And when it gives us power, it brings in more clarity in what we are doing. And then, of course, there are so many other factors. So I'm going to be doing a small exercise, which is very, very simple on capital letters. So you have to just tell me which one is the correct option. This is very simple. I think the
First
first
one, ma'am. A.
Second B. B.
First.
No, 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 no.
Not
B
ma'am.
नहीं, B
First.
नहीं.
B. B.
Yeah.
first,
B,
First.
B, A,
B, ma'am. B.
B. Why would B
A.
be
A.
correct? Could you please tell me? Because U ka Y need not be capital. The first one is correct
A.
because U is in small and I is in capital, right? So A is
First
the
A.
correct option. Very good. Yes.
The
Second, B
second
is
C
not
one
the
is
correct.
correct.
Huh? B is
A
not
is correct.
correct because A is correct. B,
For the
B
pronoun, Y
mein
need not
Y,
be in capital.
Y she need not be capitalized. And in the third one, I is not
I is
capitalized. So that is wrong. We should know what is right and what is not right. Yes, very good. Next.
one.
First,
Which one?
C.
The second one.
C,
Third one.
B. B is
Third
correct.
one.
Second. Second is B. B is correct.
C is correct.
C is correct. C is correct. That is right. A, why is A
Yeah.
not correct? A is not correct because husband ka H should not be capitalized. Okay? Because husband to common noun है ना, so that it need not be capitalized. इसमें B में Curie का C is
C.
not
C is correct.
capitalized, so
C
C
is
B
the
is
is
correct
not
correct.
option.
correct. C is the correct option. Right. अब ये जो ए बी सी के तीन ऑप्शंस हैं ये एक टाइटल है बिकॉज इट इज इन द इन्वर्टेड कॉमा सो इट्स अ टाइटल सो व्हिच वन इज द करेक्ट टाइटल
One.
हाँ
B.
C, C.
C.
C is
इट्स अ
correct.
टाइटल
C,
C
ma'am.
is
सेट
correct.
इट्स अ
Title
टाइटल
C.
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 C is the correct option.
C,
Yes,
ma'am.
because and how do we know it's a title? Because it is within the
The inverted
quotation
comma.
marks. Yes.
Yeah,
So
inverted comma.
now we are coming to inverted commas and we will start with inverted commas. So what's the time? Is it time? Okay, we can start with inverted commas and then take a small break and then we will continue. So whatever we did till now, is everything clear? Very, very simple. We did the different kinds of sentence errors that we may face while writing. And then we started with capitalization, that is title capitalization, the important words, the words not to be capitalized, and then the beginning and the last word in a title should always be in capital. So A and the. If they are in the middle of the sentence, they may not be capitalized. But if they are in the beginning, then they will get the capital tag. So, and then we did the small exercise. Okay. Now we come to inverted commas. Now, inverted commas. बेचारे इनका नाम ही देखिए कॉमा ही थे ये तो कॉमा ही था हमारा इधर कैन यू सी द इन्वर्टेड कॉमा को इन्वर्टेड कॉमा बन गया सो देर आर टू pairs you can see. One is the single inverted comma and the other is double inverted commas. So we often use both and we again are not sure where to use what. So single inverted commas have certain features and double inverted commas also have certain features. So double inverted commas are known as quotation marks. Double inverted commas. ये बेचारे इनको inverted comma बोलते हैं because they are not inverted commas also because it's just an inverted comma and one is a single normal comma. So single inverted commas नहीं बोलते single inverted comma and double inverted commas. So double inverted commas will be used for quoting somebody, quotation marks, or they are also known as the speech marks. So whenever you are marking out speech, like you are specifying that here starts the spoken portion. So how do you distinguish with the speech marks? So remember, speech marks show the words quoted. That is why they are known as the quotation marks. And the punctuation marks, inverted commas. So all three mean the same. So when you are quoting somebody else's speech, my grandpa said, inverted commas, share your chocolate with your friends. So we all know, but there are certain formalities again with respect to the usage of quotation marks, which we are going to be learning about. So suppose if you are sharing something, अब आपने quotation किया, you are using a quotation, and in that quotation you are using something which has been shared by somebody. So वहाँ पे हमारे quotation marks, अगर if it is already in the quotation, then you may use single quotation in between. But if it's a single sentence, then double quotation will come in. So that is something we have to always remember. I'll do the exercise with you, and if you have any doubts or if you have read something different, please share, because it's very
हेलो मैम.
important. Yes, yes.
हाँ मैम, अभी जस्ट आपने एक्सप्लेन किया कोटेशन मार्क का.
हाँ,
तो मैम आपने जो एग्जांपल दिया वहां पे फुल स्टॉप है. ओके, शेयर चॉकलेट्स विथ योर फ्रेंड्स. तो
हाँ.
जो फुल स्टॉप कोटेशन मार्क के पहले लगेगा या बाद में लगेगा? क्योंकि अगर पहले लगा तो फुल स्टॉप होगा सिर्फ वो कोटेशन मार्क के अंदर में जो सेंटेंस बना है उसके लिए, क्योंकि जबकि हमारा सेंटेंस स्टार्ट हो रहा है ग्रैंडपा. यस.
हाँ, हाँ, बिल्कुल सही बोला आपने. तो कोटेशन मार्क के कॉमास अंदर होंगे कि फुल स्टॉप्स होंगे? तो इसमें क्या होता है कि ग्रैंडपा सेट, उसके बाद आ गया कॉमा, एंड देन स्टार्ट द कोटेशन मार्क, क्योंकि ग्रैंडपा सेट के बाद कॉमा आया ना, पहले कॉमा
Yes,
आता है ना? और फिर
yes.
हमने ये माई ग्रैंडपा सेट कॉमा शेयर योर चॉकलेट विथ योर फ्रेंड्स, बस ये इसके अंदर ही आएगा. इट विल नॉट बी आफ्टर दिस. पंक्चुएशन मार्क, ये जो फुल स्टॉप है, इट इज विद इन द इन्वर्टेड कॉमा. ये माई ग्रैंडपा सेट के बाद इनका काम खत्म हो गया. उसके बाद ये दिस हैज taken the major highlight of the sentence. So the punctuation mark, full stop also, it absorbs the punctuation, this full stop also within, and the sentence we understand. So my grandpa said का comma के बाद हो गया काम उनका. उसके बाद it's okay. अगर मेरा, अब जैसे क्वेश्चन मार्क्स भी होते हैं, कभी कभी क्वेश्चन हो सकते हैं. My grandfather asked, है ना, would you like
Yes,
to
yes.
play with your friends? तो अब ये क्वेश्चन मार्क भी अंदर होगा कि बाहर होगा, दैट कैन अगेन रेज अनदर डिबेट. So yes, there are certain rules and there are certain formalities which we need to follow. Very, very good question. I'm so happy that you observed this and you raised this query. So Preeti ma'am, shall we take a, it's 2:13, so shall we take a 5-minute break now?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Then we can continue with the explanation after the break.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Yes? So shall we take a 5-minute break and we will continue with inverted commas, and please gather as many queries and questions that you can. I would love to, if we can learn much more by interacting and through this exchange. Yes, we would love to do that. Yes? Okay,
Okay.
so thank you so much. We will meet in 5 minutes and I'll just close my camera. So we were talking about inverted commas, and you know, I just want to know, ask one question before we start the session. What is the role of a teacher in the classroom? Because this is something related to what I just shared before we closed the session, so it was just playing on my mind. And I recently heard a very eminent educationist give a new definition to the role of teacher. She said, we earlier used to say that the teacher is, you know, everything used to be teacher centered. Then teacher became mentor, then facilitator. Now, according to the new definition, the teacher is the co-learner. So that is what we are. The new definition given to the eminent, I mean by new eminent educationists, this is one term which I heard to in the morning itself, and I thought I would just share. So we are all co-learners. We are learning all the time. So it is not the student who is learning. We are learning through the students. So in this exchange that we are carrying out, We are learning both the ways. So that is something. So all the opportunities, all the platforms that we are getting to teach and educate are actually the platforms for us to learn, and we are the co-learners. So teacher is now not put on a pedestal or not put on a, yes, teaching is twice learning. Absolutely. So we are the co-learners. So on that note, let's learn about quotation marks. So this is it's a certain word or phrase that's being quoted from another place or person. And if you want to draw the reader's attention to a particular word or phrase, then again you can put the speech marks there. For example, we call this, or some unfamiliar expression if you're using in a sentence. So like on day one, we had done these foreign words. And if you want to use those foreign words in your writings or some other foreign words, then you usually put them in inverted commas. Like we call this phenomenon the water cycle. One of Michael Jackson's hit songs is called Billie Jean. Tom talked ad nauseum about the time he scored the winning run. Sorry, there's an extra here. So, this is how we can use. Now, sometimes they can be used within the quotation mark. So, single inverted commas, I just said comma, but I think I have to correct myself. They are the commas. The single style inverted commas are used within the double style inverted commas to stress a word, phrase within that quote. So in speaking, stress is very, very important. Oh, just a minute first. Let me ask everyone, is my screen visible?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
And I started. So sorry. I just realized that I may not have. Yes. Okay. I'll just start again. Okay. So this was what I just shared. Now is it visible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So certain word or phrase that is from another place or person, then you use inverted commas. Now inverted commas, underlining, and italics, they are all interchangeable. So आपको वही rules आएंगे सामने. So you can, just connect everything together. We call this phenomenon, you can also put a dash here, the water cycle, or you can put it in italics, or you can just underline. So everything would be okay. So it's called Billie Jean, or Tom talked ad nauseum about the time he scored the winning run. So highlighting a certain point, we use quotation marks in between also. Now, the next is, single inverted commas are within the double inverted commas. That is important. That will be marvelous. We will see you at the playground. अगर ये इन highlighted नहीं होता या अगर इन single inverted commas नहीं होते तो that will be marvelous. We will see you at the playground. We can say like this also, but if you want to highlight, then put extra stress, extra emphasis. So there are 3 rules that are displayed on the screen now. How to connect? So the first rule was that you, within the quotation marks, the first letter is capitalized and the punctuation mark is also within the quotation marks. The second rule is, if you are using a phrase, just a phrase, it is not a complete sentence, it is not a complete clause, then you need not capitalize the first letter. He called them loud, smelly, and utterly annoying. तो capital letter नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, and he closed the door. So this is just a phrase that has been shared here. The third rule is the problem with opinions. Paula explained. Now the quotation is continuing. There are no different quotations. The same quotation is continuing, so I need not capitalize is. Okay, so capitalize हमने अभी किया था यहाँ पे रूल कि the first letter is always capitalized. Now the first capitalization में we had done that rule. The first letter in quotation marks is always capitalized. Or तो quotation marks means the first letter in the quotation. So the first letter in the quotation is there. Now, loud, smelly, and utterly annoying may not be the first letter in the quotation. They are the part of the quotation, phrase from the quotation. So they will not be capitalized. And here the quotation is broken into two parts. Therefore, the second part is not capitalized. So this rule still stands true. नहीं तो आप बोलेंगे कि मैम आपने बोला था कि फर्स्ट सॉरी यस capital for the first letter in quotation always. So first letter in quotation always remember quotation का पहला अक्षर कोटेशन के बीच का अगर आप कुछ बोल रहे हैं he said going to the museum. अब going to the museum तो first letter नहीं है ना, तो he said inverted commas में अगर आपने going to the museum किया it may not be capitalized. He said they are, he said going to the museum. तो अब they तो capital होगा, going capital nahi hoga. So this is a rule. First letter is always capitalized, but the phrase from the quotation need not be capitalized. If the same quotation is broken into two parts, then the second part may not be capitalized. Okay, now let us do this exercise. Where will the quotation marks fit in?
Before Maya. Maya is trying
Before
hard
Maya.
in school.
Maya and semester.
And this semester,
After
after this
semester.
semester.
Okay, yes. Then the second one?
No के पहले and after that. मतलब no जो है will come in inverted commas because that is the expression. Then I के पहले before I.
Currently, currently. हाँ, currently.
हाँ.
I के पहले.
Before I and close
before
कहाँ
I.
होंगे?
After 15 minutes. After
15 minutes.
Yes.
15 minutes.
So opening and closing inverted commas, yes. Then
after ask
two.
दो के पहले आएगा मैडम स्टार्ट
who के पहले आएगा
क्वेश्चन मार्क
और regularly question mark
के बाद
बाद आएगा.
After question mark.
है ना? These are the answers. Okay, so quotation marks. Which is the correct answer here?
Second one. Like first.
first
First
one
one.
first one
First
first one
one.
first one
Anas. comma is mandatory ना, asked के बाद comma आना चाहिए.
First
Yes.
one.
Next.
Second.
Yes, second one is correct. Second one is correct. The stop has
Second
to
one.
be हाँ. Third section में I mean the इसमें कौन सा correct होगा?
The first one, ma'am, in the third part.
The first one is
First one,
correct.
first one,
The first
first one.
one is correct. Yes,
One.
yes, absolutely. So that was which one?
B.
The second one. The second one, ma'am.
Stop. Yes, yes.
The second one is correct.
In the first question, the second is correct. In the second question,
First is correct.
हाँ,
First
First one is
first one
correct.
is correct.
In the
one is
sentence, first one.
One is correct.
yes.
Second one A.
Yes. So this was on quotations, and now we are coming to a very interesting topic, which is ellipsis. Has anyone heard of ellipsis, or do you know where are they used, and what is the function of ellipsis? Anybody? Without knowing, we may be using these so many times. So ellipsis, जो 3 dots हम कह देते हैं, लिख देते हैं. So many times when we are um, quoting something, so what do? We write the first word, we write the last word, and in between we put dots to convey that the quotation is covered in this. So, and when we are writing a message also, WhatsApp, and there is too much I wish to express, and I'm not getting the words to express myself. So, what do? I put dot. I've said this much, but there's a lot more which I've not said, and please understand that there is a lot more I wish to share. So many times these dots, they convey so much, and they are known as ellipses. So how do we use them? So see, itne important hai ye. Sometimes these 3 dots are known as ellipses, and where are they used? They are the replacement for omitted words. Suppose if you are saying something and you don't want to be very specific, we can stop ourselves from speaking out. But what about writing? So this is just for humor, that sometimes you may just omit certain words. So what good fortune for whom? For the government, that the people don't think. So what good fortune? And it is not specified here. So it is just in humor. Sometimes it's a pause for effect. Now, like I said, they work as a body language. So when you are speaking, then it appeared, and you can pause, and then you can say a genie, so that effect will be created. But in writing, how will you create that effect? So 3 dots, ellipsis. Sometimes an unfinished thought, what I was talking about. Some and we also, so many times in conversations we say, I know that you are going to make it, but so unfinished thought, trailing off. Sometimes you just trail off into silence. We were now on our own. So there's so much which is not said. So all these are this is where you are using the 3 dots, ellipsis is used. So we use an ellipsis when omitting a word, phrase, line, paragraph, or more from a quoted passage. So what do? They save space or remove material that is less relevant. So anything which is not relevant, you can just put dot 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 there. But remember, these are the 3 dots. We sometimes, like I remember in my childhood, I didn't know that there were 3 dots only. We just put as many dots as we feel like. Nobody told us. So now I got to know that actually we should restrict, just 3 dots would do the work. So also used informally to show hesitation in complete sentences. He was without hope. Just 3 dots would do the work. Desolate, empty, the epitome of a broken heart. So much is expressed. He was without hope, trailing off. Desolate, empty, unfinished, so much more to be said. And then the final thought is coming out. So, suppose, like again, what a beautiful garden. Now you can instead, now if it is a beautiful garden, it is understood that it will have beautiful flowers, beautiful trees, beautiful bushes. तो इतना repeat करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. You can just write what a beautiful garden it was. Such a wonderful place. So beautiful garden के बाद आपने ये imagination के लिए छोड़ दिया कि beautiful garden means a garden full of flowers, trees, bushes, and in spite of not being written there, your mind can visualize. So everything that we are talking about, actually we comprehend when we can visualize. So if visualization is there, that means the purpose is solved. So ellipsis, if it is doing the work, then we need not repeat the words. So one more function of ellipsis is there, which is very important. So this is more in informal. As informal writing also you will be using it. Be careful when you are using this. I know I saw my key somewhere. Don't know where. I'm not sure what to do. Should I join this university or should I go look for more opportunities? He said, I never thought things could take such a turn. So again, we don't know, but unfinished thought. Now, the exercise that we are going to be doing. So, whenever in writing, if you don't wish to write again, to, like infinitive phrases, to do, to write, or just write, depending upon the sentence construction. So, although Mary has tried hard to stop smoking, she hasn't been able to stop smoking. लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. She hasn't been able to is enough. Sometimes verbs which are followed by, so it we have to see कि कहाँ to आएगा, कहाँ to नहीं आएगा. It is not necessary that everywhere we have to write to, because some after some verbs we can omit to. So, did you buy the presents? I forgot. I forgot to buy. बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. I forgot. So, isn't this interesting? So now I'm going to do an exercise on this, where you are omitting infinitives. Yes. Please come up with the answers. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
Want to?
Didn't want.
It's a very simple exercise.
One didn't want
Huh?
to.
Didn't want to.
Didn't want to.
Didn't want.
Harish did his homework even though he didn't want to.
Want.
Though
Want.
he did.
Harish did his homework even though he didn't. Now, why should it be want and why should it be want to and not what? There's a very interesting logic behind it. Want होना चाहिए कि want to होना चाहिए?
Want to. Want.
Want to होना चाहिए? Want क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए?
No, actually it should be want because we are omitting infinitive. So to we should not give there.
Okay, yes, but अभी जैसे हमने कहा, did you buy the gift? I forgot. So I forgot to, I forgot to buy बोलते हैं ना, but in the answer we did not say I forgot to, we just said I forgot. So I'll give you the explanation for this. Did not want. तो want के साथ हमेशा I want something आता है. I want peace, I want happiness, I want money, I want nouns आ रहे हैं. And whenever you are talking about action, verb, then it will always be I want to. So I want to go, I want to travel, I want to do something, I want to work somewhere, I want to learn more, I want to study more. तो अगर हमने यहाँ पर want खाली कर दिया तो want के बाद तो noun आ जाएगा. I want something. So that will bring in ambiguity again in the sentence, because I want से हमारी sentence क्या बनता है? I want riches, I want a better job, I want happiness, I want peace. ये सब nouns है. And I want to के साथ verb आएगा. So in this sentence, such an important point here. So did is verb. So did के साथ he didn't want to do. So you want to specify कि Harish did his work even though he didn't want what. तो noun तो नहीं आ सकता ना यहाँ पे. So even though he didn't want to, आपको specify करना पड़ेगा. क्योंकि he didn't want what? He didn't want punishment, he didn't want detention, वो सब आ जाएगा, तो that will change the meaning, and this will not change the meaning. That is why we have to do didn't want to. Okay, is the difference clear? Why this and not this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes.
next. हाँ.
And
अब इसमें क्या होगा कि आपको आगे देखना है कि सेम मीनिंग आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है. अगर सेम मीनिंग आ रहा है तो फिर परफेक्ट, जिससे सेम मीनिंग आ रहा है वही आप बस यूज कीजिए. सो शी सेड शी कुड यूज अ कंप्यूटर बट इट वाज ऑब्वियस दैट शी
Couldn't.
couldn't. बस और फिर से यूज की जरूरत ही नहीं आएगा. We can't repair your car today.
we can.
Your car today, but tomorrow
We can.
we can. Yes,
No need to say repair.
you don't work as hard.
Actually, what I think is we are going to do
As
the
you do.
work which we could not do today.
Somebody is saying something.
You should.
What, sir? आप audible नहीं है, जोर से बोलिए sir.
You should.
You
Okay.
should.
You don't
don't
work as
as-
hard as you should. Absolutely correct.
You
I
should.
don't know. I don't know if I'll pass all my exams, but I
I hope to.
Two.
hope
I hope.
to. Hope to.
I hope to.
I hope.
हाँ, क्योंकि खाली होप अगर करेंगे तो होप के बाद आई होप फॉर, आई होप, तो क्या आने वाला है वो क्लियर नहीं होगा, तो आई होप टू करना सेफर है. यस, नाउ दिस.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Okay,
Didn't.
why didn't?
I didn't.
Past tense.
Past
Yes.
tense of what?
Have gone. Have gone
Gone,
is
have
used.
gone. Perfect past
Yes.
tense.
Absolutely correct answer. I could have gone means past tense of could.
Tenses.
We should say this is the past
Yes.
tense. So should ka past tense hai should have, could ka past tense hai could have. So I could have gone to the university, but I didn't. Absolutely correct. Yes.
Mean to.
He didn't mean to. Absolutely.
Mean to. Mean to. Mean to.
Want. Third one is want.
Won't.
She won't. Yes. Yes.
Doesn't.
Want.
Doesn't.
Roshan
Roshan
doesn't.
Doesn't.
Roshan doesn't.
Doesn't.
Huh.
Doesn't.
Doesn't.
Yes.
And he was sure he would.
He was
He
sure
would.
he would.
He would.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
he would.
Very good.
He would.
Very
Maharashtra
good. Very good.
He would.
Varun didn't do well in the exams. He was sure he would. Now we come to, we are coming to very simple sections. So all all clear till now. What we did today, we did with we started with inverted commas. We started with sentence structure, then inverted commas, and then this ellipsis. Now some more formalities are left, so we will be covering those also. So everything clear till now? Any questions?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
no, ma'am.
Everything.
Clear, ma'am. Very clear.
Everything clear. Okay. I just want to
No
know
question. Crystal clear, ma'am.
parenthesis. Crystal clear. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So parenthesis, the most common punctuation mark, the brackets. Now there is, I mean, everywhere we use the brackets when there is some extra information. When without the brackets also a sentence is complete in itself. So that is that extra information is all usually covered in parenthesis. So like we did when we were doing comma. So Sam, the boy from school, helped me with my homework. So this is the extra information about Sam. I can also put it in within the commas. So that is just without it also it would be correct. So Sam helped me with my homework is the original sentence. The boy from school, if this information is there, it can be expressed in parentheses or it can be expressed in commas. Both the options would be correct. The children won their baseball game. Now, sometimes that is an additional remark made after the sentence. So it was exciting! Exclamation आ गया तो exciting का level ही अलग है. So again, that is an added comment, that is an added information. It can go in parenthesis. And if it is not going in parenthesis, then dash can also be there. But absolutely parenthesis. This is parenthesis is doing the work here. Then the third example is she and the name of the girl. Who is she? Is a great friend. Again, the parenthesis. So wherever we are using the parenthesis, the brackets, इनके लिए alternatives are also there. That is why maybe most of the times we don't use the brackets. But in academic writing, whenever you are giving the extra piece of information, I think they are very largely used in brackets. So there are three conditions. The first is like you're talking about the boy from school, then the information after the sentence, and the information again within the sentence just in a word. So Rita is just a single word, or it may be a phrase. The boy from school is a phrase, or it may be a sentence. It was exciting is a sentence. So word, phrase, and sentence all three, sentence is a clause. So all three can be put within brackets.
Hello.
If you remove
Hello.
the information,
Madam.
Ji,
Hello.
yes,
Madam, there is a difference in the brackets. Like in the last one, the bracket is different.
yes,
And so
yes, yes. So
is it
yes,
necessary?
you noticed the difference. Yes, that's okay. I mean, brackets are brackets. So you can use the commonly used ones we are using. So thank you again. I mean, thank you so much for pointing that out. We commonly used ones are the first and the second. Just a minute. The first and the second, the brackets used in the first and the second example are the commonly used ones. This has just come as an exception, so just ignore. The bracket is same as 1 and 2 example. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So if you remove the information that is inside the parenthesis, the sentence must still make sense. Always remember you are putting the extra information in the bracket. You cannot put integral part of the sentence in the bracket. Then your sentence will turn wrong. So extra information is going to go within the brackets. So Jenny invited you to her birthday party next week. That is a complete sentence in itself. The girl that lives in the yellow house, that is the extra information, so that can go in the brackets. So Jenny invited you to her birthday party next week is complete. Okay. I'm going to Mumbai next week with Rashmi. In itself is complete information. Who is my friend is the extra information. So it has to be put in brackets. अब अगर ये brackets में नहीं हुआ और आपने यहाँ पे punctuation mark भी कोई comma नहीं लगाया या आपने यहाँ पे भी Jenny comma नहीं लगाया या dash नहीं लगाया, then there will be ambiguity. So be very careful कि आपके sentence में what is the integral part of the sentence and what is that extra information that you are including. So extra information can be separated, but not the essential information. So like Rashmi, like I said here also, Sam. Now the children won their baseball game. Dash, it was exciting. So dash can also do the work. Now dash and hyphen, there is a difference. Hyphen is used for separating words, compound words. Hyphen we did on the first day. So compound numbers tha, compound words tha, word and numbers hai. तो वहां पे we can use hyphen because hyphenated words they become. But when it is a sentence, then the punctuation mark that we are using there is the dash. So dash can separate. What is the work of the dash? Dash or parenthetical statements can be interchanged. Matlab they are parenthesis and dash can be interchanged because वो दोनों statements जो हैं वो extra information ही दे रहे हैं. So whatever extra information can, now we have three options. The first option was the comma. The second option is the bracket. And the third option is putting the dash. And there is a fourth option also, which we will be learning about a little later. So remember. So dash separates words like parenthetical statements. So after a split second of hesitation, the second baseman leaped for the ball. Full stop. Or rather limped for it. Extra information hai ye. So after a split second of hesitation, the second baseman leaped for the ball, dash, or rather limped for it. Bracket or dash दोनों में ज्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है, बट रिमेंबर अगर आप ब्रैकेट कर रहे हैं तो ब्रैकेट ओपन और ब्रैकेट क्लोज दोनों कीजिए. इफ यू आर नॉट यूजिंग द ब्रैकेट यू कैन जस्ट यूज द डैश देयर. And if you are, I mean, you cannot use a comma here. यहाँ पे कॉमा आएगा ही नहीं. कभी कभी कॉमा आ जाएगा बट कभी कभी कॉमा नहीं भी आएगा. तो इस सिचुएशन में हम कॉमा ला ही नहीं सकते. इस सिचुएशन में मे बी अ कोलन कैन कम, because rather linked for it is actually talking about the first part. So a dash is more emphatic than colon but less formal. तो कोलन कहाँ पे आता है? He is afraid of two things and list of things, spiders and lizards. And if you put a dash there, so again हमने कहा था कि mechanics of writing is all about formality. So levels of formality. So dash ज़्यादा stress दिखाएगा, more emphatic. Emphatic means where it shows more emphasis, but less formal. And colon is prim and proper, formal. He's afraid of two things, spiders and lizards. He's afraid of two things, spiders and lizards. Dash aa gaya, to emphasis aur aa gaya. So see the punctuation marks, what role are they playing? So in a controlled manner, in a controlled situation, you can use the colon, and in a ज़्यादा आपको emphasis करना है, then use the dash. So I was talking about the fourth feature. The fourth feature is the colon. तो आपको extra information के लिए हमने बोला था, but colon is not giving the extra information. Colon का जो colon के बाद जो आता है, it is usually connected with the first part of the sentence. So commas, parenthesis, dash and colon. Each one, generally we can say, but specific features they may not be replaceable at all times. Like in this situation, you cannot put the comma here. नहीं, कर ही नहीं सकते. But in this situation, Jenny, you can put the comma there and you can put the dash also there. Okay? So dash के और क्या-क्या functions हैं? Dash indicates a span of time or a range of numbers. So ये जो हम बोलते हैं ना कि page 101 to 181, the punctuation mark here is the dash. Sometimes we don't know whether it's a hyphen or it's a dash, so that's a dash there. The scheduled window for the cable installation is 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Again, dash. So range जहां भी आप बता रहे हैं, range के लिए dash is used. And so the range can be in terms of numbers, in terms of time, in terms of year, in terms of decade or anything. So dash is there. Italics again. Italics and inverted commas, जो single inverted commas हैं, underlining है, they are usually almost doing the same function. So what is the function of the italics? I'm sure everyone must be knowing what is the function of the italics, because they have very general functions. But if you wish to share from your side, please feel free to share before we get into the level of formalities that we have to follow when using italics.
Ma'am, when we have to write any another language word, so we can specify that in italics, like any Hindi word or any Greek word. So we have
Latin
to
word.
mention that word. Yeah.
Okay,
So
noticing
that
some words. Yes. And Okay. So we will, that is the primary function of italics, and that is absolutely true. So you want to emphasize, so this is used to get the word or phrase noticed, and you want to emphasize, so sometimes you want to emphasize a certain word. जैसे हमने we did one exercise जहाँ पे single inverted commas आ गए थे, that would be marvelous. So in your writing also, if you want to emphasize that word marvelous, you can put that in italics. So that is just to make it more prominent, whatever the feature you want to be highlighted. So that is one function. The second function is, of course, when you have foreign words, words from different languages, or you have technical words, or you have unfamiliar words like ad nauseum we had used in that quotation marks exercise. So again, so anything if you want to use that is not, that is something unfamiliar, you can use it in italics. Italics and underlining can be used interchangeably. So you either put italics, you either use italics or you use underlining, but we should not use both. Italics be, underlining be, inverted commas be, only one can be used. That would be enough because it is to draw attention, and at the same time, like italics and underline, not to be done. So that is important. Now, yes, all these things are very, very trivial, very simple. But somewhere, like I shared on the first day, they are so simple that we forget to do a formal training on these simple things. Simplifying, simplicity becomes complex. So it is, but we should be aware. Again, I say the word aware. There is a very beautiful video which I show on awareness, but I may not be able to show it here. There, in that room, there are so many things taking place at that particular time, but we do not even see them. So in any given point of situation, any given scenario, there are so many things, but our attention is not there. Our awareness is not there. And energy knows where attention is drawn. And once attention is drawn, the awareness is created. So then the focus, then the energy, then the more work, then brilliance, then everything. So that is why what I'm doing here, what we are doing here is just creating awareness. This is what exists. So now we are coming to numerals. So numerals again have again they have their functions of formality, that numerals to be written like this, numerals to be written like this, some to be written in words, some to be written in numbers. So I'm sure there could be a little bit of confusion as to how to use the numerals in writing, or if anybody would like to share, please come, please, we can, I mean, you can give your input or insight. Numerals, maybe. Anybody? Certain rules, certain formalities that we need to follow. So I'm just going to be sharing that. So small numbers ranging from 1 to 9 should be spelled out. Now, see, 1 to 9. So numbers, some should be spelled out, some should not be spelled out. Now, I just want to share something which is again very, very common. Like we do not know where is the used, where is the used. Some people will say the at all times. Some people will say the at all times. But there is a rule. With consonants, use the. With vowels, you use the. That's the normal rule. But somewhere that rule got lost and we made our own interpretations of where the should be used, where they should be used. Similarly, numerals in writing. Now, certain rules were made, but then those rules got lost somewhere and we don't know where to use in numbers, where to use in words. So sometimes we make up our own rules. Like I wasn't aware. So I can say for myself, I learned so many things as I became a co-learner. So small numbers ranging from 1 to 9 should be spelled out. So these three samples, now three samples cannot be written in numbers, they should be spelled out. But there is an exception. Exception is if there is a unit of measurement, then we can write in numbers. So usually we will not write, we will spell them out. But if you are writing a unit of measurement, then you will write in numbers. So the samples measured 7 centimeter in diameter. Centimeter is a unit of measurement, so you can write the numeral there. So whenever there's a precise unit of measurement, you will use the numeral. But if there is no precise unit of measurement, it is something general, then you can spell them out. And that is for numbers 1 to 9. But larger numbers, that is above 10, are written as numerals. So there is no confusion. Okay? And if the number is rounded or estimated, then we spell it out like 400 million people, not 400,000,000. Just round it off. And again, when you are writing, be consistent within the same sentence. क्योंकि sentence में क्या हो सकता है कि एक number less than 10 और एक number more than 10 ऐसा हो सकता है. So what do we do? Either we write both in numbers, numerals, or we write both in words. That is, the consistency has to be maintained. एक तो मैंने न्यूमरल्स में लिख दिया और एक मैंने वर्ड्स में लिख दिया, then consistency will be broken. So I should ensure that I maintain whatever I'm starting with. So maintaining is very, very important. Then when you are starting a sentence, so you can use in words, but exception, ईयर के लिए आप वर्ड्स में नहीं लिखेंगे. ईयर के लिए नहीं लिखेंगे, बाकी जगह पे आप लिख सकते हैं in words. So 75,000 ink cartridges are sold every day. 19th century novels often feature complicated plot lines. Exception 2008 saw record olive crops. So that's the exception. When you're writing the percentage, so the standard to use numerals is this. So you will write the symbol. 45% of the workforce is employed, 6% is currently work in agriculture. But अगर आप sentence ही शुरू कर रहे हैं percent से, then you will start with words. That is important. Numerals में इतने सारे rules होंगे, who could have thought of it? So these are the rules. 13% of the patient reported that the symptoms improved after taking the experimental drug. So this is what we are doing. This is what we have done today. I'll just quickly revise everything that we have done, and then in the last section we are going to be discussing the possible format of questions that could be asked. Okay, so any questions till now? Any questions till now? We will just quickly revise every day, whatever we do, then we revise what we have done, and then we, start something new. So well on time, we have completed whatever we had to do. We will do a quick revision and then we will do sample questions. So any questions before that? Please, we
Ma'am,
can take that.
I don't have any
Hello.
question, but I want to add that if there are numericals and in between numericals, if there is decimal, then after decimal you have to say like each word like 45.32.
Ha. So wonderful. Thank you so much. Like we
Thank you, ma'am.
cannot say we cannot say 45.32, right?
32, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, very, very brilliant observation, because many people do not take note of this. So I have seen like we did that full stop for time also, and the time shown there was 10:43 a.m. So I read it as 10:43 a.m. But we say 10:43. तो वो 43 है ही नहीं ना, it is 43 upon 100. So the number there is not 43, it's 0.43. And mathematics, I mean, all the science teachers, all of us know that it is 0.43, but still inadvertently we somehow just go on making this mistake. So I've seen many people saying this. Again, I will tell you one common, see what is happening, because we are not taking note. We are not taking corrective measures. So misuse is becoming more prevalent. Instead of the correct use, misuse is becoming more prevalent, which is bound to happen, because if corrective measures are not taken, then of course the errors may just become more prevalent. So the strangest error that I have heard in recent times, I'll share that with you. And large section, मतलब, और वो इतना deep rooted error हो जाता है कि when you tell them that it is not like this, they just look at you and say you don't know it is like this. I'll tell you what is that error. It is in the month's name. So we have September, we have November, we have December, और बीच में आता है October. अब October is October. But many people have made it on their own through logical conclusion or what, I don't know. It has become October. So September, October, November, December. And it has become prevalent. And if you tell them it's not October, it's October. Okay, ma'am. And as if they don't, matlab, they are completely disbelieving me when I tell them it's October. They think that I do not know it's October, and they continue with their October. Such a strong rooted learning, belief that it's not October, it's September. And I was like perplexed. I didn't know what to say, what to do, how to check,
Hello, ma'am.
how to correct. Yes, please.
Same with Wednesday also.
Huh?
Same with Wednesday also.
Ha. So, what would you like to share? Please share, ma'am. Prinalini, ma'am. Yes.
Ma'am, generally people are saying Wednesday. It is Wednesday.
Absolutely correct. D is silent. It's Wednesday. And wa, sound of wa, sound of va. So Wednesday. But वो Wednesday तो कहाँ गया पता नहीं. It has become something different only. So it's okay. When I mean we can just share awareness that this is the way, this is the way, this is the way. Some will believe that this is this way, but some have such strong rooted beliefs which are not even correct. How do you tell them कि नहीं आप मैं किसी को ज्यादा तो I cannot say कि you are wrong. I feel that the person may get very, very hurt if you tell that what you've learned is wrong. So we say, okay, but just, check your own source and see that this is how it is largely used. So then they may listen to you, and if they find out on your own, or if you play Google pronunciation and if you tell them that this is how it is, Google Baba also says that it's October, it's Wednesday, then they will believe. But otherwise, if you tell somebody who thinks 2 plus 2 is 5, you can prove that 2 plus 2 is 4, but the person continues to believe that 2 plus 2 is 5. What do? Shaking that belief means playing with that person's personality, and I feel that, okay, live in your own utopic world. What to do? So we correct them as much as we can, but still it's just getting out of proportions now.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I think the same problem is when people, while writing 90 in the words, they write NINTY.
So
Actually,
they
NETY. Okay. And
yes.
the same problem arises when they write 12. TWELFTH, but they write TWELVTH.
So the problem with yes, and the problem with 90 and 19, 40
Yes.
and 14,
Yes.
50 and 15, they do not know. So you have to double check, what are you talking? Is it this or is it that? And sometimes कि पूरा उल्टा था. मतलब they meant 50, it was 15. And when they meant 15, it was 50.
ये ऐसी
Yes.
गलतियां जो है ना, I have noticed in the transfer certificates, the TCs of the students when they come from some other school for seeking admission in the college. When we look at the TC, the date of birth is written in बहुत ही गलत लिखा हुआ रहता है. Sometimes they write, some use, suppose it is 1999, so they write 1999. In some cases they write 1999. There is not a standard, there is no standard format for that, and spelling mistakes बहुत रहती हैं उसमें, because they write it as the way they spell it. Like I'd not like to mention the name of the college where I used to work. They used to pay me 11,000, and for that they used to give me a check, and they used to write it. They used to spell it as 11, and they used to write it as ELEONE 1000 on the check.
That is sad. That is sad. This is what I'm talking.
And the biggest thing was the bank used to clear that check.
So this is such a sad scenario, and this is what I'm saying, that if we don't take control now, things will just go deteriorating. So it is time that we take control as educators now. So on this note, we will take just a break of 5 minutes and we will start with the next section. Is that okay with everyone?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, just a pretty ma'am.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we will assemble at 3:25. Yes. Okay, thank you.